Guys, this is Kendra with Trust TV, and I'm back with another video. And I just wanted to discuss something real quick. I promise I won't make this video too long, but I wanted to discuss something, and I wanted to discuss marriage in a so-called black community, right? And I noticed something, and I want to know in the comment section if you believe this is by design. I do a lot of my family's genealogical background through census records and deeds and so forth and so on. And I realized in my mother's bloodline how many people were married. And I mean, all of my great-great-great-great-grandparents, from my grandmother, and from my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, and going down, were all married. And I realized my mother's sisters were even married, and the only person that was not married is my mother. Now, my grandmother did not marry my mother's father, but my grandmother did marry another man after having my mother, right? So my mother's father and my grandmother never got married. And so my mother was born out of wedlock. My mother was never married to my father. And so but my grandmother did eventually get married after to a different man named Wilbert Lewis, or whatever. That's how we got our last name. And so what is strange to me is back in the day how much we got married, and even young. Like my great grandmother was young when she got married, very young actually. I think she was around 14 or 15 years old. I could be mistaken, but I think she was definitely in her teens when she got married. And it just made me think how in Western society they are teaching black folk not to get married, and how terrible marriage is while simultaneously getting married. And it's so insane to me because black people buy into the idea that marriage is I saw what my grandma went through. It doesn't matter, because when you don't get married and you have children out of wedlock, you curse that child. There's a curse of bastard that is on that child when you do have children out of wedlock. I'm going to be honest with you. And then if you look and read your Bible, if a child is born in adultery meaning that one of the spouses, either the wife or the husband that you married or had children with in adultery, it curses that child. You need to read that scripture where it says a child born into adultery will not amount to anything and will die early. And if they don't die early, when they get old, they won't be respected. If they live to be old, they suffer a lot in life. And that when the end of the world, or when Jesus come back, they will judge that parent. They will judge that parent that had them in adultery. So you guys got to start being careful laying down with married men and having babies and having children out of wedlock. You curse your children when you do that. Just to let y'all know. That's two. But it's so crazy. One of the things that I noticed also is that white girls, and I worked at Stony Brook Hospital, right? And I realized, let's just give a ratio. Let's say there were 20 white girls working in just the emergency area, right? And there were 5 of us black girls that worked in the emergency area. Out of the 20 white girls, 16 of them were married, straight out of high school or straight out of college. Out of the 5 black girls, not near one of them were married, but they had kids. There's a problem with that. Do you hear me? There is a problem. Now, here's the bigger problem. Except my mother, out of every generation, all the women were married. But for some reason, all these black women are not married. We are fighting with our men more. We are finding reasons to not get married, whether it's through wealth, whether it's through thinking somebody needs to be perfect or look perfect, all these different excuses. Now, don't get me twisted. There's a trick that they played on us, and one of the tricks is making us believe our men are not marrying us. Our men marry us more than anybody. Our men marry us even when they're wealthy more than anybody. It's a lie and it's a trick when they tell you that your men don't marry you. Yes, your men do. Our men, I saw this video where I forgot who was talking about it, but he was just talking about how our men still marry us. Our men do. But the problem is how late on in life they marry us. Again, I go back to it. White girls are literally getting married out straight from high school, straight from college. They're getting married, right? While black girls are getting pregnant straight from high school, straight from college. This is the problem with our community. Why are we willing to have sex before marriage? That's what I don't understand. Why are we not looking for long-term relationships out of college? I'm not saying out of high school because you're young, but I'm talking about, but if you're going to have sex, you should want to be married. Why? Because that is something mature people do. We should not be having sex before we understand why sex is needed and why we shouldn't have sex out of wedlock, have children out of wedlock, because it curses the child. Then some of these kids don't know what they got to pray off because mommy and daddy wanted to be doing what adults do but wasn't mature enough to do it. You don't know what you're doing to your children spiritually. Forget just the natural realm. It's the spiritual realm that is affecting your kids more than anything, all the way up into their adulthood. And some of us wondering why we're suffering today and don't realize it's for having children out of wedlock, being a child born out of wedlock, and continuing on that curse and not breaking the cycle by getting married and then having children. Y'all men need to step up to the plate and start marrying people. Stop trying to have sex with everybody. Coon coon is coon coon. Vagina is vagina. It's not that deep. Either it's deep and wet or narrow and wet, or narrow and dry, or deep and dry. Either way you cut it, it's one of those. The vagina is a vagina. It's not that deep for nobody to be going out in this world trying to sample every vagina and every penis to see which is the right fit. Find somebody that you actually like and can stand. Figure it out. Figure out what you like, what you can stand. This goes for both men and women. Figure out what you like and what you can stand and what you can deal with. Find that one person and settle down. Enough is enough. When are we going to get tired? It has been years. We've been doing the same old two-step for decades. They reinvented, and we think it's a new phenomenon to have sex, a whole bunch of unnecessary sex with a whole bunch of different people. This ain't new. Side chicks ain't new. Side men, side niggas, as they say, that's not new stuff. This stuff been old. Papa was a rolling stone. Come on. It's been these men picking up and leaving and going from house to house making families. Been there, done that. When we gonna be through? It's boring and it's old. We getting too old to continue the same old, same old. Let's actually try having good marriages. Let's actually get under the holiness of God and have holy matrimony. How about we actually do it God's way? Oh my God, I got something very revolutionary. Let's do it God's way. Let's take it to the altar, whether the same way we're willing to gamble with having babies with any old person, let's gamble with marriage the same way. Because if you can lay up and have sex with that woman, you can marry that very same woman that you having sex with. You chose her to have sex with and give her a baby. If she was so nuts, why would you put your baby inside her? Make it make sense. If he was so crazy, why'd you have sex with him? Think about it. We so willing to have sex. We're so willing to do all this stupid stuff, but we're not willing to get married. It's the same gamble. If she cheats or he cheats, you can divorce. Why don't we do it God's way for once? Like, we always talk about being revolutionary and revolutionize. Having a side chick, side piece, that stuff ain't revolution. It's been happening. It's been happening since the time of the Bible. Like, are you kidding me? even with help of the wives. Is that not what happened with Abraham and Sarah when she took her handmaid and gave it to her husband and made Ishmael? Was Rebecca and Leah not two women that shared one man? It's been here. It's been here for a while now. So let's try something new. Let's actually go to the altar and actually start getting married in a way that we have never been before. Let's do that. Stop worrying about somebody being perfect. Nobody is perfect. Find somebody perfect for you. Stop divorcing over we don't get along. You're going to go through seasons. You don't like yourself every day. Realize that if you don't like you every day, you ain't going to like your spouse every day, and that spouse ain't going to like you. Get into these relationships for the long haul and stop worrying about what other people think about your relationship. It's your relationship. Like women because you like that person, not because your friend approves or your father approves or you got to live with that person for the rest of your life. What are you concerned about anybody else's thoughts for? If you see a good girl that you are interested in and that you like, go after her. Go after her. Get a feel for her or him. This for women too, because you got to like that man too. Get a feel for him or her, right? Get a feel for them. Know their personality inside and out. Know if they're the right fit for you. But don't allow somebody else's opinion, somebody else's thought. Don't let none of that come into your ear and hinder you from doing the right thing. Stop having sex, both men and female. Get to know these people before you even think about. Don't have sex, period. How about we take a hiatus from sex where nobody has sex and we just get to know each other? Stop putting stigmas on your own black race, black men. Black women are no different from any other woman. Cut it out. Black women, stop putting stigmas on black men. They no different from any other men. Cut it out. We have to realize we're doing ourselves a disservice. Let's start getting married, y'all. Enough is enough. I've been through. I'm too old for this. That's why I'm like, I'm not in the midst of dating people. Like, I remember when I got asked out by this guy. And I was just in Walmart. And he wanted sex first. And I said, I'm not having sex with you. And I said, no, I found God. I'm not having sex with you. I'm not having sex with anybody until I get married. He goes, are you a virgin? I said, no, I'm not a virgin. He said, okay, so why you're not having sex again? I said, because I'm not going to continue in sin. God forbid, as Paul said. I said, that's why. Because I sinned before don't mean I stay in sin. Y'all gotta stop. You don't need to taste it before you buy it. You just don't. You wait. Because the truth of the matter is, sex with a woman, she has to be comfortable. And and the reason why sex don't be great for us is because we never comfortable with these men to begin with. Let's actually take the time to but the best sex will be the sex when she know you. When y'all two both comfortable with each other, I'm telling you, you will have the most amazing sex you've ever had in your life. When two people are comfortable with each other, your body will respond. So stop having sex with these women like this. This is ridiculous. Let's just do it the right way. That's all I'm saying. This is Kendra with True Us TV. Forgive my hoarse voice. I'm already a very raspy person, but for whatever reason, when I get a little bit of a cold or anything, it just gets that and magnifies it. But anyway, this is Kendra with True Us TV, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe, and thank y'all for the 500 subscribers, y'all. I definitely have to do a giveaway, so I shout out to y'all who's subscribing, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all doing y'all thing this over. Anyway, stay up, stay blessed, put God first above all else, y'all. Peace out. Bye.